Ohio is the 6th largest prison system in the nation. Over 50,000 convicted felons, from drug dealers to murderers, first-timers to hardened career criminals, make their home in the state's prisons. But one kind of inmate is testing the system in unique ways.
Be quiet!
Women. This is Hale Dorm, the close security wing of Ohio's largest women's prison, where 200 of the prison's most problematic inmates are housed.
You got attitude? You got attitude? Why would you do? You got attitude?
A hotbed of fights, contraband trades, and illegal relationships.
You can go to the bathroom, but you need to get on your bed. Put some clothes on. All right, get on your bed.
Man, what the is wrong with her? Get the out of here.
Everybody do their thing in here. I mean, they don't stop nothing. You know, we criminals.
The Ohio Reformatory for Women, known as ORW, is one of the toughest prisons in the system to manage. 2,600 female inmates, from minimum security to death row, all in one place.
We just in a crazy place, man. I'm telling you, don't you ever come to prison, man.
Tell that. I don't even want to go there no more.
We got different mood swings, different attitudes. Everybody's clashing together. Oh my God, it's hectic.
Baby, I love you.
We argue, we bicker, we nitpick. We're women. Women like to start and fight.
Yeah, we be back here making noise. We do whatever we want to. Because we don't care. We in prison. We are prisoners.
Hi, ladies.
And overseeing it all is Warden Janine Trim,
Did you want to say something? Okay.
whose hands-on approach means she'll meet almost every female offender in the state.
What you over here for now? You starting off on the right foot, huh? I see. It absolutely is a serious prison. We have every level of security at this facility, and each one has to be managed accordingly.
Yeah, boy. Keep moving.
And we don't curtail or change in any way our policies because they are females.
And like every other prison in Ohio, ORW gives inmates a choice. Follow the rules or face the consequences. And right now, one cell block is testing its limits. Hale Dorm. Home to less than 10% of ORW's inmates, but one of the prison's biggest challenges.
Count time!
Officers here constantly enforce the prison's standards.
This is me taking your wreck away. Get on your beds.
But inmate Dory Terrell intends to do her time differently.
Coming down this bay as soon as everybody's on their beds.
Now, you see this? You happy? You leave me alone now? You happy?
Terrell's serving 30 to life for a murder charge, and she's one of ORW's most notorious inmates.
Every dorm has what we call the players, the people who are being abusive or aggressive to people, and Dory is one of those individuals.
Quit doing that. I swear to God, I'm cussing you out later on.
But Terrell's kind of power sets her apart from the other inmates of Hale and takes a form unique to the women's world. She is the head of a prison's pseudo-family. While men's prisons have their gangs, female inmates do more than click up. They create families and play distinct roles.
Nephew, where you going? What happened at Meds? Come here. Come back when you get your ice. Okay.
More vulnerable inmates in need of protection become daughters and nieces. More masculine women, nephews and brothers. And the most dominant inmates, women like Dory Terrell, assume the role of father or uncle.
This my nephew Carlos.
Close daddy, baby.
This my brother Bird right here.
What's up, man?
This my daughter Leopold right here. This my baby right here. I talked to her mom on the phone, and she let her mom know that I'm like her dad. And you love me? Yeah, okay.
Some call me Uncle Dory, Uncle Doe. Some call me Dad.
I'll see you later.
Love you, Uncle Doe.
They don't call me Mom or Auntie or anything like that because I am very, very aggressive.
You just over your friend all the way around the board. Do you care? This about the only in this cottage that's there for you like that. When you got up, your should have came with you. We in the joint.
Coming to me, you get aggressive advice from me, like your dad or your uncle. You get aggressive consequences.
I was handling this. Sorry, nothing. I don't let nobody get in your. When I'm at you and I'm getting on you, I don't let nobody say to me about you.
Terrell has adopted 30 young inmates into her surrogate family. And while role-playing may seem like a game, building close relationships is key to every inmate's survival. In a dorm like Hale, where rivalries can lead to violence, Terrell offers protection. In exchange, family members cook, clean, and obey her authority.
I wouldn't necessarily say I use them. I would say I trade with them, which is a give and take thing. If I buy the food and I run around and I hustle and make a way for us to eat, because your family's not sending you anything, you're gonna wash my dishes.
Come here, nephew. I might need you to clean up tomorrow too, okay?
Then if you don't, you're not gonna eat my food.
Thank you, Uncle Dory.
You're welcome.
If we were a biological family, Dad brings food home, the children do the dishes.
Hurry up.
I like being at the center. I like being in control. You know, I like being in control of myself and in control of them.
Here, give me some ice, baby.
Do I enjoy the power? I acknowledge the power.
My mother wouldn't talk to me the way she talks to me. My father would talk to me the way that she talks to me.
You ain't doing what you supposed to do, Uncle Doe gon' get at you flat out. She gon' cuss you out.
She almost made me today.
Relationships between inmates are a fact of life here, ranging from cliques like Terrell's to romantic couples.
I want a relationship. I want somebody who's gonna love me and care for me, someone that I can love and care for as well.
You gonna make me coffee too, right?
Yeah, so give me yours. She cooks for me. She makes my bed when it's messed up. She does whatever I tell her to do. She's my girlfriend.
Here, baby, here's your coffee.
Where's the ice at? And I take care of her and I make sure nobody messes with her. I love you.
Me too. I do everything for her. I enjoy doing for Ronnie because I care about her a lot. She takes care of me, I take care of her. That's what we do.
Sexual relationships of any kind are illegal at ORW. They can lead to power struggles, exploitation, and black market hustles.
Because females are relationship-based individuals, anytime there are folks who break the rules, whether they steal, whether they are fighting, it certainly will be based on a relationship. One of the things that makes our investigator successful is knowing who relates to who and how those relationships connect to whatever it is that they are trying to get to the bottom of.
The prison takes a hard line. Officers shake down cells and bunks daily, searching for signs of illegal activity, from trading store goods to running tattoos.
I just opened this box and I noticed there's a lot of drawings in here. This is a good indication that there could be tattooing going on.
There's certain kind of pens, they'll blow the ink out, and that's what they want to use for tattooing.
Cigarettes, lighters, expired meds.
They can pop that out and fill the inside of it up with pills, narcotics, whatever they can get in.
Some of these people are really street smart. They know things that we don't know, and they can take some of this medication, make it into something, you know, some people aren't aware of and still get some type of high off of it.
Could be used for a screwdriver. You could take anything apart with that, so we'll be taking that. They like to steal these from each other. These are hot commodities.
This amount of property here, it might seem kind of like minor, but they run stores, wheel and deal this stuff, and it could escalate into fights and more serious issues.
For female offenders who break the rules, whether for hustling or violence, ORW's solution is segregation. where problem inmates are locked down 23 hours a day. And Eileen Rose is now among them. She may not look it, but Rose is considered one of ORW's most dangerous inmates.
I hit the officer with a lock in the sock to make her shut up. It was gonna be worse than she got because I was gonna make a shank and cut her. I have a history on this farm of assaulting many people, officers. I feel like I am gonna be here the rest of my life, so why should I even care?
Rose's attack on the officer means she'll now be locked down in isolation. It's a serious offense. One that Warden Trim will see to personally.
Rose, listen to me.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna do something.
You're not.
I'm gonna her up every time I see her.
No, you're not. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
And I'm telling you, listen to me. You are not going to be able to assault our officers and think that we're going to continue to let that happen. You better settle in nicely because you're going to be here for a good long time.
Why don't you come in here? You come in here, Trim. You come in here, Trim. I'll beat your head. I'm going to show DCOs that I'm just going to do my time my way.
This offender has a history of assaultive behavior, and we don't take that lightly. We are just not going to have any tolerance for offenders who attempt to physically harm our staff, and we'll take whatever extreme measures we need to take. Yeah, see if you get her to de-escalate. She's upset with me right now. Okay.
Eileen Rose will remain in segregation. Time to cool down on lockdown. Waiting to face further punishment for one of the prison's most serious offenses: attacking an officer.
Ladies, come on, settle down. Yeah, y'all better move it out. Don't even go there. Just go. You ever been in a house full of women? Turn the volume down. Not nitpicking, a lot of arguing, a lot of attitude.
You told me to go to the back of the line, but she's lying because I watched her.
I don't care about that. I gave you direct order. Now, you want to use the phone?
No,
All right. I have over 300 women that I have to ensure their safety. Get off my desk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, as long as they're doing what they're supposed to, we get along fine.
Officer Eva Dunbar has worked at the Ohio Reformatory for Women for 12 years. Her job is to make sure new inmates fall in line with the system's rules. Rules established the moment they first arrive, at intake. Each week, female offenders come to ORW from counties all over the state.
Anybody pregnant?
We got another pregnant one.
I told you it's in the water today. She's number 3.
Step along over here.
This is the first stop in the process, where the freshly convicted leave the free world behind.
All the way through the next door.
They've been found guilty of everything from parole violations to murder.
Just your head to the right.
The majority, though, are short-timers.
I'm here because I made a stupid decision. I am a drug addict and I get in trouble. So I'm here for 3 years.
Regardless of the sentence, it can be a frightening transition.
It's just the first day and you feel really, really nervous. It's scary. You don't know what's going to happen to you if you're going to be able to adapt to everything. But you're going to have to.
Not knowing what's going to happen here, like not knowing what I'm going to see. I've only been this far. I don't know what's around the corner.
Each year, over 3,000 new inmates arrive at ORW, adding to an inmate population that's already 200% over capacity. To handle the influx and keep security levels straight and separate, ORW relies on a color code system. Lower security wear shirts with green collars. They have more privileges, less supervision, and a bigger yard. And close security, the inmates of Hale, wear pink and live under tight supervision 24 hours a day. Eventually, all new inmates will enter general population. But for now, they must go through reception. Here, 350 inmates live on open bunks for up to 8 weeks, while the prison figures out their security classification. This is where the officers set the tone for time at ORW.
All right, ladies, so pay attention real quick. If you want respect, you're gonna have to give it. This starts it. It all falls back onto you following the rules. We do not care what you've done to get here. We only care about what you do while you're here.
Every new inmate has to toe the line and follow strict rules. But Jody Fetty is also thinking about what she left behind.
This is my son, Kane. He's extremely brave, and he's only 9 years old. He knows I'm in trouble. He just does not know 25 to life. He has no idea what that means. I'm so scared he's gonna ask me, when are you coming home? Because I don't have that answer.
Fetty is serving 25 to life for her part in a home invasion gone wrong. On July 2nd, 2009, Fetty, drunk and high, approached the house of an elderly man.
Sheriff's deputies say 27-year-old Jody Fetty knocked on his door and asked to use the phone because her car broke down.
While she distracted him, 3 accomplices broke into the house, robbed the man, and beat him so severely that he was left paralyzed.
My neighbor's been assaulted. He's on the ground, he's hurt, he's bleeding.
Somebody assaulted him?
I can't breathe. I'm right here. I need to stand up.
Sir?
Yeah. Hold on.
When the victim later died, Fetty was convicted of complicity to murder.
5 little minutes changed so many lives. The victim's family, my family, mine. It's very painful for me to know that I'm involved in a crime that had taken another man's life. I think about that every day. Not one day goes by that I don't think about why I'm here.
Fetty is just 2 weeks into her 25-year sentence, and soon she will enter general population.
25 years of being away in a new life, in a new world that you know nothing about. Yeah, that's mind-blowing. You enter the gates of hell.
Spending decades in prison is a terrifying prospect. But ORW runs on a philosophy that might make the time go by easier. Ohio is one of the only correctional systems with the word rehabilitation in its name. And ORW takes the mandate seriously. Here, education and job training are fundamental to inmate life.
This worksheet tells us some clue words and some keys on how to identify the main idea.
Most offenders will be re-entering back into society. Our job is to send a better person out that came in, to help rebuild this person's life, to assist them in getting back in society and being productive.
But ORW's philosophy is being put to the test. As growing numbers of women pour into prison each year, They bring with them their own unique challenges.
I had got sent here. I was 8.5 months pregnant, and I was 1 centimeter dilated. Ready to give birth to a child.
Heather O'Brien is serving 6 months at ORW with her 5-month-old daughter for forging a check. The culmination of a life of homelessness and drug addiction. At 20 years old, she's the youngest mother in a unit like few others in the nation. ORW's residential nursery. Prison is meant to be a punishment, but life in the nursery is a far cry from the crowded dorms of ORW. Here, short-time offenders like O'Brien are getting a rare opportunity to live with their babies at their side, segregated from general population. Complete with inmate nannies, supplies, support, and lessons in how to be a mother.
I think it's easier being a mother in prison because out there you have to worry about like, oh, where are you gonna get the diapers from? Or how am I gonna be able to pay for things? And here, you got a free bed, you got free food. I can stay clean, and I can take responsibility for my actions and be able to learn like what it's like to be able to bond with my child.
Across the country, thousands of women come to prison pregnant each year. And most of their children land in foster care or with family on the outside. O'Brien is one of the lucky ones, but her luck might be about to change. She's getting released in 6 days.
I'm the type of person that lives on the wild side of things, and it gets me into trouble a lot. When I do get back to Cleveland, I'll be in the same neighborhood I used to be in, where I used to do the drugs. I'm still young, I want to live my life, but at the same time, I got another life I got to take care of.
Heather O'Brien has 6 days to make her choice. Leave her former life behind, or fall back into it.
Look out there. You see out there? That's what you call freedom. And that's what we got.
And the stakes are high. If she returns to prison on another charge, she comes back without her child.
Everybody gotta hustle. You doing something that's gonna bring home the money, plain and simple. Cause you gotta survive up in a spot like this by any means necessary.
It's store day at ORW, and business is booming.
2 levers, the lady speed stick, and a Suave 2-in-1 shampoo.
How much are the big ones? Y'all don't have enough for the oatmeal cookies?
The prison provides 3 meals a day, but inmates can still buy the comforts of home at the prison commissary, with credit put on their books by family and friends. Store, however, is more than what it seems. In a world without money, goods become currency. Items like soda and instant coffee are traded for everything from extra clothing to prescription drugs.
I sell my medication to survive. The medication, my pain medication. You know, it's a lot of addicts in here, and they use the medications for a substitute for drugs, like cocaine, crack, whatever.
But every exchange gathers interest, putting inmates who can't pay into dangerous debt.
Can I get a 2-for-1 pop? If I give you a pop, you gonna bring me 2 back when you go to the commissary.
I'm gonna give you 2 pops back. No, because you ain't pay me last time. I didn't even get nothing from you.
You can't trust these women. We all criminals. Some people don't ever pay their debts, and then that's when the fights break out.
I don't want no. All right, I'll give you 2 back. I'll give you 2 back.
It's all illegal, but I mean, what they don't know won't hurt them.
We got one girl on the fence, and she's obviously trying to talk to a green shirt.
ORW's officers are always on the lookout for illegal behavior.
They always kind of think ahead. They'll even plan times and dates when to exchange contraband, and It's just a continuous battle trying to keep up with contraband and property. I don't want to say it's a losing battle, but it keeps us on our toes, definitely.
But Warden Trim knows that taking the pulse of a women's prison demands more than just surveillance. It requires a personal touch.
Hi, ladies. How's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing okay. It's very important that they be able to talk to me and feel at ease. It keeps us safe because they're willing to talk, and there may be information that they have that we need to know.
Every day, the warden makes her rounds,
How many times you been here?
5 times.
Okay.
giving inmates a chance to approach her one-on-one.
She said, I don't give who said y'all can shop.
In a men's prison, simply interacting with officials can get you labeled as a snitch. But at ORW, the inmates talk, and the warden is there to listen.
I encourage them to come and talk to me. It's one way that I get information. The truth lies in the middle, and it's my job to find out the truth.
The warden makes it her business to know about the lives of her inmates. Women like Dory Terrell, the patriarch to a group of inmates mimicking a free world family.
Get it loud. Fix your hair. You came outside looking like that.
She wants to have a following, if you will, to make her feel good about herself.
Eat your fruit, nephew.
And what you'll also find with the female population is that if they were abused when they were on the outside, when they come to us, all of a sudden they kind of morph into the abuser.
On the outside, Terrell was a mother of 4 who fell into a life of crime through prostitution. A fall that accelerated when one of her children was sexually assaulted by her fiancé.
My whole life changed. I didn't want to leave my children anymore to go to work for 8 hours every day, so I started doing what I had to do. I started like trying to rob people and trying to con people so I can hurry up back home to my children.
Terrell claims that she spiraled, and small-time hustles gave way to violent crime. In 2001, she stood by as her brother gunned down one of her customers in a motel parking lot. She was arrested 1 month later and sentenced to 30 to life.
I lost what I really loved the day I got sentenced to these gates. So nothing else mattered. I was angry, and I took it out on people.
Facing at least 30 years away from her real children, Terrell started building a new family inside prison, by any means necessary.
In the beginning, it didn't start out a good thing. I was a monster. I would give them the choice, you can leave, there's nothing else out there though. Nobody's gonna care like I care.
Terrell punished disobedient family members, dragging them into the bathroom, out of the sight of the correctional staff.
If one of the women I was with, they disobeyed me, I would line them up, put Vaseline on the hanger, and I would whip them. I would chase them with hot irons, tie bras around their necks. I saw myself as a destroyer, as a beast, as a monster back then, yes, I did.
One of Terrell's house rules, stay out of trouble and off the administration's radar. A rule that has just been broken. Surveillance cameras have picked up on a fight in progress between inmates and Hale. And one of them is Dory Terrell's younger prison brother. It's behavior that Terrell won't tolerate.
From when I stepped on this farm, I wanted to be a maximum security inmate. I did this by choice. I do think I am a dangerous person because I'm unpredictable. And I have a list of people that I'm gonna get if the warden decides to let me out ever again. I have a list of people that I will hurt.
In the segregation unit of ORW, inmate Eileen Rose is going before the Rules Infraction Board. She's facing charges that she assaulted an officer. Charges that make her not only one of ORW's most dangerous inmates, but also among its most difficult to manage.
This is the Rules of Fraction Board, April 13, 2010. Your ticket today is causing or attempting to cause physical harm to another with a weapon. Okay, how do you plead to Rule 5?
Guilty. I had all intentions of cutting her with a razor. I sat on watch for 2 days plotting her death. And I'm saying this on record. If they don't take the necessary actions, I'm gonna kill her. This is not the first lock in the sock incident, and you know that.
Your assaultive behavior, the threats, the weapons, tray throwing, lock throwing, all of that has got to stop. If you ever want to leave ORW, you cannot do that.
I mean, she's still alive, so I didn't do that bad.
Go ahead, step out, quiet back in.
Segregation is ORW's most extreme sanction for bad behavior. The threat of isolation is enough to keep most inmates in check. But Rose isn't like most inmates. There's another dimension to her assaults, one that makes punishing her more complicated. She claims that she hears voices, voices that command her to hurt officers. And lately, she hasn't been taking all of her medication.
I don't like hurting people, but when I come off the medication, it makes me more violent. It's like I can't stay out of my head.
We currently have over 1,000 offenders on our mental health caseload. 50% of our offenders are on psychotropic medications. It's not just dealing with an offender who's come to you who've committed a crime. Now you add an additional layer, and now you're dealing with a person who is suffering from schizophrenia or somebody who may have some sort of behavioral disorder.
Mental illness is an issue in every prison, but female inmates are more likely than men to seek treatment. For these offenders, ORW cannot be simply a punishment. It must also shield them from the strains of general population. Balancing the roles of prison and mental hospital is one of ORW's toughest management challenges. Each day, ORW runs the largest pill call in the Ohio prison system. And nearly half of the women receive mental health medication. Eileen Rose was offered mental health assistance. Instead, she chose the path of violence, of seeking out segregation.
I'm not a people person at all. And I'd rather be in segregation because, you know, here, I don't have to deal with nobody but myself.
There's a lot of different ways that inmates manipulate the system. We see it every day in different circumstances. This is a disciplinary unit, but because she enjoys that kind of seclusion, it does not seem like a punishment to her. Rose?
For her actions, the system is left with few choices.
We're finding you guilty of the violation. 15 days from now to the 27th. In addition, we'll recommend that you have a security level review. Do you want an appeal?
No.
Come on up here, let's get signed.
Rose's punishment is local control, and with it, up to 6 months in the hole.
By putting her back here, we can ensure that that officer is safe. So, though she does get what she wants, we make sure that our staff is safe. And to me, that's a fair trade.
As Rose settles into segregation, Jody Fetty is still working her way through reception and feeling the weight of doing time.
Definitely feels like I've lost my mind and I'm trying to find it. I've been here 23 days and it's been a crazy ride, that's for sure. The reality of this world that I'm living now, of course, was not in my plans for the future. So now that I'm here to make the best of it, I have to find how to do that. And as of now, it feels nearly impossible. I still feel like I'm gonna wake up. I miss my mom, my son, all kinds of things that flow through my mind.
Fetty has been in reception for 3 weeks, and her release to general population is fast approaching. A release that will take her to either the green world or the pink.
Oh, I forgot my hoodie. Oh, dang.
At the Ohio Reformatory for Women is the final day of Heather O'Brien's 9-month sentence.
See ya. All right. Today's my last day. I'm really excited. I can't wait. Get to see my mom. I haven't seen her for a year, so I'm really happy. I can't believe it. I'm actually going to be walking out these doors in a couple hours.
O'Brien is about to take her 5-month-old daughter outside the prison gates for the first time.
I'm happy because I'm leaving. I get to be free from this prison, but at the same time, I'm scared because living in an environment like this, you get used to it, and being able to go out into the real world and realizing, okay, I'm out here in the real world, and I got a chance to mess up.
When you go through here, I need you to step up to the counter for a second.
I got a lot of help in here. Out there, it's gonna be me, my baby, and that's it. It's kind of like, it's gonna be our own family and trying to get things back in order.
The road ahead is a tough one. O'Brien is leaving ORW with $85 and leaving behind the support of the prison nursery. One slip, and she'll be back inside.
If I relapse, I'm gonna lose everything. I do know that if I screw up, I will lose my child, and that's what scares me the most.
While Heather O'Brien is about to confront the temptations of the free world, another family is facing tests of its own. Yesterday in Hale, the rowdiest dorm at ORW, 2 inmates squared off when one says the other disrespected her. One of the inmates was Michelle Bird, and now she's in the hole for fighting. But her behavior might carry other consequences. Bird's pseudo-brother is Dory Terrell, and Terrell has a history of assaulting family members for stepping out of line. A pattern of abuse that the prison wouldn't allow.
One woman, she went into the unit and told them that I was forcing them to iron my clothes, forcing them to take whippings, forcing them to tattoo my name all over their body, forcing them to cook or whatnot, and if they acted up, I would jump on them or they would jump on each other, which was pretty much true.
Officers responded with force, and Terrell was put in isolation. But rather than hardening the patriarch, Terrell claims the punishment changed her from an abuser into a protector.
I came out with a whole different attitude. I was like, wait a minute, y'all. What I've been showing y'all is not what we're supposed to be doing.
All right, I love y'all.
Today, Terrell says she is seeking a different way to do her time.
Me being there for these kids, it helps me too. You know, it motivates me. It makes me feel good about my life and where I'm at today.
You okay, baby? Yeah.
I feel like I'm redeeming myself for being away from my 17-year-old, my 13-year-old.
We doing this time, we gonna do it together. But you're gonna have to step up your game. You're gonna have to not let this win. You're not gonna let this kill you.
I'm not gonna let it happen if you can help it. And I'm glad that you give me inspiration too. You're a very inspirational person.
I love you.
I love you too.
You come see me later on. Here I come.
How I was living and how I was beating women and all that, you know, this has gotta end. And it did.
But the prison is skeptical of Terrell's transformation.
I don't think she's remorseful. I think she makes a lot of excuses for why she did what she did. Do I think that she has completely stopped beating up on people? No. Do I believe she's a sociopath? I absolutely do believe that.
ORW is the primary prison for women in the state, which means that the prison is stuck with Dory Terrell for the next 20 years. And she will fight for her family ties.
If the authorities tried to shut what I'm doing down. They wouldn't be able to change my children, my nieces and nephews. They wouldn't be able to change their feelings for me. Women still flock to me, and they still believe in me, and they're still with me because they don't want to be alone. And I will tell them, you always have a home with me.
Inmate life, it's what you make of it. It's a growing process for you to not have a criminal mind. The thing I'm still learning is to do right, because that's something I didn't do. That's why I'm here.
Jody Fetty has been in ORW's reception wing for 1 month now, settling into her routines and breaking into life in prison. But everything she's learned is about to be put to the test.
Ladies, listen up. Inmate Fetty, 270 top. You're going to hell. Bay 76 top.
Because of the severity of her crime, she's going to the pink world. An assignment to Hale, the toughest unit in the prison.
Today, I am leaving admissions and going into population. Level 3 security. I'm feeling a little nervous. I'm feeling a little relieved. This place is getting to me.
Where you going? I'm going to hell. Oh, man. First me. First me. Hey.
It's just going to be a really rough crowd.
Welcome to hell, Cotton.
It's going to take some time to adjust and find any kind of peace. Make the best of it. It is what it is. My goal is definitely to get out of the pink world as soon as I can. And when I get more programs or schooling, it'll be better. Even in prison, you know, you have to earn it. And if you're stuck in the drama of sex and violence, you're not going anywhere. I won't be comfortable, and I won't allow myself, because that's when I think the prison has me, the system has me. I might mess up, but I'm gonna try my damnedest not to.
The transfer to Hale marks the end of the first month of Jody Fetty's 25 to life sentence. And even with good behavior, it will be a year before she is eligible for a review of her security classification. A year she'll be spending in Hale. Eileen Rose continues to sit in segregation, where she'll remain for up to 6 months.
I got myself. I pace back and forth all day long. I talk to the voices in my head, so I'm okay.
She is now one of only 3 maximum security inmates at ORW. And Warden Janine Trim is still gathering the information necessary to keep the prison running.
Every offender is held accountable for the things that they have done, and their punishment is being here. The jury and the judge have sentenced them to a duration of time. Our job is to send a better person out that came in.
Dory Terrell continues to do her time at Hale and build her family behind bars.
I'm never leaving their side, but I will add on to it. I know that there will be more. And they'll embrace each other, and I'll introduce them. This is your sister, and this is your nephew, and this is your brother.
Where's Jody at? Where's this little girl at?
And already, a new inmate has caught the eye of the queen of the dorm.
What you doing, shrimp?
Trying to cool off.
You was outside? I was looking for you.
I was this strong so far until it happened. I had no idea that I had the strength that I've found, because sometimes I don't even know how I get through one day of all the
I want you to know I'm here for you, Jody. If you need me, anything. I mean, when you wake up and see that this is real, this is the truth, this is where you know, you might have to rest at, I'm here for you, girl. You need me, I'm here.